BRB Doing Disney explores a more mature side of Disney. We want to keep the magic alive for everyone for as long as possible. So before we dive into today's content, we want to make it clear that this podcast is intended for a mature audience. Our discussions often include adult themes, strong language, and a critical analysis of Disney's more complex elements, which could include peeking behind the magic curtain and may not be suitable for younger mouse ears. Listener discretion is advised.
If you see us at Disney, say hello.
Yes, please.
Get a friendship bracelet.
The blonde, the brunette,
Yes.
and the redhead.
Just
that
not,
you can
just,
hear before you can see.
Yeah. Don't just go up to a random blonde and brunette and redhead.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Welcome back to BRB Doing Disney. We're your hosts. I'm Cass.
I'm Shanira.
And I'm Megan.
And we're excited to have you guys join us in the magical chaos of another episode. We are really, really excited for you guys to come back and wrap up the year with us. We are going to be going through our biggest memories from the year and also looking at our kind of analytics for the podcast, for our social media, everything like that, just kind of seeing where we've come. We started this in October and it's been a whirlwind. We're still learning, we're still getting our bearings and things like that, but I feel like it's getting better and better. And I know that we've kind of sat down and briefly talked about how we can make it better and how we can be more consistent and, you know, how we can just make it more fun for everybody going forward. So I'm really excited to dive into that as we wrap up the end of this year and go into the next one. So, I have our Spotify wrapped, and also our analytics from the Spotify for podcast platform. We have an all-time since October 4th, 2023, when we started this. We have had a total of 237 plays. Our highest performing episode was our Introducing Ourselves episode, followed by actually our little trailer that we did. And then after that, our small shops.
Woo!
Yeah, did just under that. Then Disney Bounding, our spooky episode, and finally our latest one, We're Getting Swiggy with It, just came out last week. So shout
out to Lorraine.
Oh, Lorraine, we miss you. We have 25 Spotify followers, so that's people who actually follow our podcasts.
3 of them are in this room.
3 of us are in the room, but that's fine. We love all 22 of you who aren't in this room.
Missy!
We love you, Missy. Average plays per episode is 28, which is pretty.
That's not like repeating plays, right? That's just like
no, that's
plays. Okay.
because we have
Because I listen to every episode at least twice,
Yeah.
even though I hate the sound of my own voice.
Yeah. No, that is just the plays, just singular plays, an average, because our Introducing Ourselves got 66 and we're at 15 for Getting Swiggy with It.
Nice.
So the average is right there in the middle at like 28. Does say the audience size. It says this number of distinct devices that streamed any episode for at least 60 seconds or downloaded an episode for in the last 7 days. So in the last 7 days, we've had 6 people or 6 devices download or listen to. So there is that. We
That's
have
a weird stat.
yeah, I don't yeah, it's weird. And then in the last 30 days we have had 2,553 Spotify impressions. And that is basically on Spotify only. Spotify search, we had 1,988 searches. We have a Spotify home impression, which is 328, and Spotify library, which was 237. It doesn't really tell me what that means. I'm guessing that the search is when somebody types in something, like if they type in Disney, we pop up. I don't know if that's what that is. It doesn't give me.
We'll have to do some research into what all of these stats mean.
So we can give, So, but that's only on Spotify. So, but that's, 99% of our listeners come from the United States.
Hey, that means 1% does not.
And then less than 1% comes from Japan. So if you're in Japan listening to us, please reach out to us on our social media. We want to know where you are. And then my motherland, Ireland, also has less than 1%. So again,
we got a whole 3 countries.
3,
International, baby. Does it count if I listen to the episode in Italy at Epcot? Will it count that?
You have to route it through.
I will listen to an Epcot, or I will listen to an episode in every pavilion in Epcot if I have to. Get us 12 countries.
What we need to do is do a VPN and like route it through different countries.
This seems like a lot of work to inflate our stats.
No, we just need you guys to like, share, subscribe.
It's true. And honestly, like Shanira said a minute ago, thank you, because like without you guys, none of this happens for us. I know we joke that like 3 of us are followers, and yes, I am glad that the 3 of us are followers of ourselves, but like those other numbers, we definitely don't take those for granted.
No,
and or granted, if you've ridden the Jungle Cruise recently. We're so thankful to have you guys, and it just like it warms our hearts when you send us messages and like either agree or disagree with our opinions, and all of those types of things. I would love to get more interaction in this community in the next year. It's like a big goal for me, to just be able to connect with you guys. Like,
that's what this is about. Honestly, I think that's kind of why we started it, just to be able to reach out and find more people, like Disney adults, people in our life situation. So,
do you have more stats to read from Spotify?
I do.
Sweet.
So from the streaming platforms, 55% are from Spotify. 31% are from Apple Podcasts. 6% is from web browser. 5% is from Podcast Addict. 2% is from Spotify for podcasters, and less than 1% comes from other. I'm going to assume that is. We are also on Amazon Music, and we will be getting on to YouTube Music as well, because Google Podcasts was kind of a bitch for me to get it on there. It says that it's on there. It takes a while for it to actually go on once we go live. So it's the last
Shout out
one.
to Debbie, who listens to us on Google Podcasts.
Yeah. So Debbie, you will have to switch over to YouTube Music.
Or Spotify.
Or
Apple.
I think in February, because YouTube or Google Podcasts is going away. I am looking into how to get us onto YouTube Music. Supposedly, I should just be able to backlog all of them, and so that'll go up probably while we're in Oregon this week. Once I get done editing these will be first priority. But going forward, I know that we also want to work into our Patreon a little bit more, get you guys some extra content. We haven't been really plugging that too much because life has been kind of crazy. So with that will come some YouTube content, more content in general, once we kind of really get going on that, and once we start getting people on there wanting to pay for the extra content. But yeah, so that is basically everything that I've got on from Spotify. I did also send the wrapped like graphic little video thing that they sent. So Meg will probably post that on the Instagram or
On the grams.
at least part of it anyway, because she's killing it on the Instagram.
Speaking of Instagram, we are up to a grand whopping total dun, da, 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 of 218 followers.
Hey.
Yeah. That number is growing constantly, and we appreciate you guys so much for supporting us on Instagram, following us, sharing all of our things. We are just we're so happy for that. And actually, while we were at Disney this last month, we handed out 59 BRB Doing Disney friendship bracelets.
Hey.
Which some of you found us over on the Instagram, on the grams, from that, and have connected with us through that. And we're so thankful. Again, every time you guys tag us or share photos or reels or anything like that with us. Typically, if you're chatting with the BRB Instagram page, you're talking with me directly. But I do share all of your guys' messages with Cass and Shanira. And obviously, if you guys are following us on our individual social medias,
feel free to reach out.
We're getting those,
Yeah.
obviously. But specifically, if it's about like our group podcast efforts, we all share those all together too. So,
if you leave a message, if you answer the polls or the questions on Spotify, if you review, I get those into our email. I can look and see what you guys wrote. So feel free to interact in that way too. I know it seems a little hokey. Also, like and review on Apple Podcasts. I follow that, but it's for me, I don't have an iPhone, so I have to go in. It's a little bit harder for me to follow that, but we get all of that kind of into Spotify for podcasters anyway. So yeah, like, share, review, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. It does.
We actually don't have any reviews on Apple Podcasts yet. So first person to review us on Apple Podcast, also DM me on Instagram. I'm going to send you a present.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, go leave that rating and review. If you're the first one, I'm gonna send you guys send you some shit.
Yeah, only not shit.
It'll be good shit.
It's good shit. So yeah, and I think we have a lot of big plans going forward into the new year, for the podcast, for our content, for just kind of growing the community and things like that. And to reiterate, we wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. So if there is anything that you guys want to see, if there's anything that you guys like to hear, if there was something that we did or said or anything like that, reach out to us, let us know. We'll do more of it if we can.
We have a couple collabs already lined up for 2024.
So exciting.
So I'm really excited for those podcast episodes to come out.
Arnold, Heather, are you coming down here? Are we doing DVC?
Maddie, all of those things. If you are a fellow Disney lover, and there's an episode that you want to like be a part of, shoot us a message. Like, we're down to just
cast
chat.
member.
We typically record on Wednesday nights, but we're flexible if that needs to happen going forward, so that again we can make this more of a community, and more of like just a fun little magic loving group.
Yeah, absolutely. We just want to get to know everybody. We just want to like talk to people.
We want to be friends.
We want to be friends. We just want to be friends. We want to
shut up and let me love you.
But yeah, so just keep an eye out. I think you're gonna see some really cool stuff from us. Maybe start dipping our toes into the merch sector towards middle of next year. I know we all were talking about like the birds and the bears and the dolls oh my shirts and the wreaking havoc and making magic. So yeah, keep an eye out. we'll be revamping our Patreon as well, at least after the first of the year, kind of to get more people, hopefully incentivize some people. Maybe I can get a new computer. And it
Do
won't
we need to
take me so-
crowdsource a new Blinky Hippo?
Yes, I need a new Blinky Hippo. Just for like editing.
If you don't know what that means, go back and listen to the gay apparel episode and you will find out.
Yes, we can get a new computer. So yeah, I think going forward, I'm really excited. Also, I know that there will likely be a pretty big announcement towards the end of the year from us. Nothing set in stone yet, but we have a pretty big,
We got some big plans.
We
for
got some big
2024.
plans for 2024.
I just found a picture of the Small World Hippo, and now my life is complete.
I need, so when I
need
do
to
get a
know
new
what her
computer,
name is his name. I don't know. It's a blue hippo. So
when I do get a new laptop, I definitely will need a sticker, a decal.
if you are a Disney World cast member, I almost said land. The really drunk hippos at Disney World. If you are a Disney World cast member and the drunk hippo that we are talking about has a name, please DM us and tell us what the
Yes.
name of this hippo is. I know that like the dragon in Phantasmic at Disneyland was Murphy. And like I know
RIP.
y'all name your
Rip
shit.
Murphy.
I know y'all name your shit some weird ass shit. Swiggy.
Swiggy.
So, I really need to know this like blue kind of drunk looking hippo. I need to know what this hippo's name is. Please and thank you.
Yes, please. Otherwise, we're going to name it, and then that will be canon from here on out.
And then y'all can call them that. I literally Googled Blinky Hippo Small World.
I feel like Blinky. Is, yeah. So I think that's the stat stuff and kind of the business end, some housekeeping stuff there.
If you met us at Disney World and we gave you a bracelet and you haven't tagged us on Instagram, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
I want to see what you do with all your friendship bracelets.
Yes. And we'll probably have more. But yeah. So we went to Disney a lot this year. We went to Disney seven times this year.
Crazy.
Like we went in December, September, August,
July.
We went to Marceline in June, Disney in May, March, and January, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Y'all, I would like to point out that we live 1,019 miles from Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, it's not close.
No.
Yeah, we went a lot. Every time anybody asks me how often we go to Disney and I say a lot, they go, oh, like a couple times a year? No, 7.
Yeah.
Personally, I went 5 times this year, and to Alani once. So that's kind of Disney. It is. So we'll say 6-ish times plus Marceline. Basically every other month.
Yeah. I mean, so like putting that into perspective. So we traveled 2,000 miles every trip, round trip. So 14,000 miles.
I'm trying to figure out how many park days we probably spent. I'm thinking if
I mean, for us, at least
average
4.
in at least 3 parks.
So 4 times
Trip.
7 is 28, right?
Yeah. Yep.
28
park days. An entire month
That's-
of February.
And that's
We spent the entire month of February at Disney World.
Yeah.
And that's just assuming we only did 4 days, because that's our average. We do 4 days.
That's pretty normal for us.
Yeah. So,
That's
but I
about
know
where
we've
I am
done
as well.
some half days, and we've done trips that were a little longer.
Yeah.
And some
I
that
don't know
were a
about
little
this year. I
shorter.
think we kind of kept it pretty chill. And so you guys have an idea of that. Cass and Jason and I have Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays off of work so that we can take off Tuesdays and go to the park for a 4-day stint. So basically what we typically do is leave after work on Sunday, fly back on Thursday night.
Granted, this last time we flew in, we left early on Sunday.
Yeah, we did. And we came home late because we didn't come home until the following Friday.
Yeah.
But that was an abnormal
I
trip
like
for us.
the going in early on Sunday, though. Like, I would be willing
I
to.
do too. The only problem with that is taking the time off of work.
I know it's a lot harder for you guys, but I can always like shift my days.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot harder for you guys, which I think is just dumb, but that's just me. But that's also, you're far more corporate than I am on that end. But yeah. Yeah. And then Shan went to Alani.
Which was like 7 days. That was a long time.
Yeah, Hawaii for 7 days must have been so rough.
Yeah.
So rough.
Yeah, boo-hoo. Let me play my violin for you.
It's the world's tiniest violin.
That was actually so relaxing.
Yeah, and then it's crazy to think how many times and like how many memories we made.
And how much we didn't do.
How much
How
we
many
still
of
didn't
those
do.
drinks we had.
I don't want to get into how much and how much we drank because it was a lot.
There's so much at Walt Disney World that we never do everything that we intend to do in a trip.
Yeah.
Ever, never, ever. But like one of the biggest things I learned this year that we won't do again, being annual pass holders that don't live in the state. Never again are we dropping our whole lives to go to an annual pass holder preview of a ride. Just throwing that out there. Was not worth it.
Yeah, I was expecting something a little bit more, honestly. And I get it, like you can't really do anything, but like if you're gonna make it like quote unquote special for the pass holders, make it a little special. Don't just like, oh yep, here you go. You're just
y'all get to wait in this
ride.
huge long queue and only ride once.
Right.
When you made a trip down here. Like,
yeah.
I know it's different for the locals that are like in the park all the time and a lot easier. Like, and that's why we didn't turn around and like do anything special for like Journey of Water, you know, like it's not worth, in my opinion, rearranging everything. Cause like we found out like 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
Like so many things at Disney come out so close to, like they get announced to the public so close to when they actually happen that like sometimes we happen to catch it, like Luminous.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't. And honestly,
and
we
I
miss
think
your
that's,
luck.
that's like part of one of my like big things and why we go so often is there's always something new to do.
There
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
So I think my biggest advice for anyone taking a Disney trip is manage your expectations.
Don't
know
try to do
that
it all.
there's so much that you're not going to be able to do it all, and just embrace that and look forward to your next trip when you can do something different.
Yep. And really like also do your research and figure out what are absolute must-dos.
Yeah, and communicate with the other people in your party too. Like we all will sit down before every trip and talk about like
What's important.
what is most important for us this trip specifically. And the rest like we figure out. But
yeah. And we do go with the flow and stuff happens. Like this last trip that we went, Jason's parents ended up coming with us kind of last minute, and that completely changes the flow of the trip for us. We want to make sure that they are taken care of and that they have the best time possible. And there was an incident when Dad rode Guardians, and it kind of did him in for our Epcot day, and that completely upended our Epcot day. And not like, and we just had to pivot, and we had to go, okay, well, the guys went back to the hotel room and the girls stayed in the park. We got food. We just kind of chilled. Everybody, just relaxed for a little bit. We did a little bit of shopping, and then Jason came back, and it turns out Dad rallied and ended up coming and being able to watch Luminous with us, and actually ended up being probably one of the best experiences I've had when it comes to fireworks and stuff like that, which was really cool. And I think that is just, again, embrace the uncertainty, plan for the best, but also expect to have bumps in the road when it comes to certain things. And if something happens and you don't get the lightning lane that you want, or you don't get the virtual queue that you want, don't be mean to the cast members. It's not their fault. They have no control over how many people are able to get into those queues. And if they're trying to be nice to you, and they're trying to do their best, just be nice and accept it, because it's going to make your day much smoother. It's going to make their day much smoother. And if you want to keep the magic alive at Disney, just be kind. even on your worst days, even when you're having the worst, like when you're having a bad time, because it's not their fault. So what was some of your biggest, like I guess like one or two of your biggest memories from the trips this year?
I think being there in a hurricane
Oh,
was a big one.
yeah.
That honestly ended up being such a fun day.
We are awful about checking the weather before we go. So like straight up didn't even know there was a hurricane coming and got messages from home and Oregon and everybody is like, how's the hurricane? And I'm
like,
literally like, what hurricane?
And 2 hours later it was pouring rain.
Yeah. But it was a really good day. We got to do a lot. And if y'all are from the rainy country and you don't mind being a little soggy, I 100% recommend going in the rain because everyone else hides. And so we got to do a lot of shit that we don't normally get to do because nobody was there.
Yep.
And the park was empty and it was fabulous. And I just loved getting to be there in a hurricane.
Yeah, and kind of like spooky vibes too. We got some really cool pictures of the castle with some really cool rain clouds and really cool sunsets. So that was also pretty cool. I'm probably gonna go a little bit more into detail with this like in another episode just because I feel like it deserves it needs to go in with like pixie dusting and making your own magic, which is still an episode that I really want to do. But I got to give Peter Pan a gift that I made him. I made him a crystal bracelet that had onyx and sunstone in it for like made specifically for Peter Pan characters, characters that meet and greet people a lot in the parks. They're both like protection and energy stones. But specifically I got to give it to the Peter Pan that I had met. The three of us had met in October the year before, I think. It had been months. It had been almost a year that we had seen him. We were dressed, I mean, he called us out. We were dressed in our all black witchy stuff, which I think you guys have probably seen on various social media stuff. And he was like, they look like shadows. And we were walking past and basically we walked over and we had a really cool interaction with this particular Peter. And it was fun. It was awesome. And I went home that trip and made the bracelet with a little note and I put it in a little treasure chest, and I kept missing that particular Peter every time we had gone, and finally got to see him one of our last trips. I think it was in September, so yeah, It had been almost a whole year, and finally got to give it to him, which was a great. And then we saw him again in December. It was awesome because he was like, I get it. Like, I'm sure that he didn't recognize us to begin with, but I think he did because I was like, well, we were just like shadows last time. He's like, I didn't recognize you because I was wearing something different. But I think that was a really good memory for me, just kind of in that aspect. But also, honestly, like making friends with the people that we've made friends with this year. Mickey's Not So Scary was a whole, well, just like full of memories. Being able to dress up and pirates and interact and meet TJ the pirate.
We love you, Captain Teague.
We love you, Teague. I'm glad we got to see you again. Finally got to find you.
That is the thing about going 7 times in a year. You see some of the same people over and over and over again.
Yes. And then I really honestly, the memories we made this last December trip will probably stick with me for a really, really long time. And if you've listened to our Christmas episode, you'll kind of understand why Christmas is just not always my favorite holiday. And it's just not a really rough time of the year for me. And so being able to make new memories and happy memories in December is really, really, really important for me. So yeah, favorite memories.
It's so hard to pick just one because there's been so many good memories this year. Like, I literally met you guys this year. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously, like, that's an amazing memory. And, like, all of our friends that we've made along the way, like, getting to meet these people and then getting to see them over and over again. And, like Lorraine and having her fly here
Lorraine,
and
yeah.
everything. Like, it's been so exciting. And I'm so grateful for that. And for all of those friendships. As far as like specific moments, there's so many. I'll say one has probably been watching fireworks behind the castle with the princesses.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I think like when we were dressed up as princesses, like having Cindy twirl me around while Happily Ever After is starting, like
Not Meg and I like
nothing
sobbing as we're recording
will
it. It was
top that.
awesome.
No, it was so much fun. But then also like you said, this past trip, like some of the new memories we've got to make together has been so special. Like I think like having all four of us dressed in Sith like is so like every time we're like all out Sith, it's so much fun. Like
Yeah.
I feel like we're so freaking badass. Like it's just a good time. But also like on y'all's anniversary, like when we had like I'm sure we'll probably tell the story on some episode. But just everything that went down with dinner and then like ending up eating at the Yachtsman, like that was such a special night for me. And like the Yachtsman is a place like I didn't have the best memories before.
Yeah.
So like it was really awesome to get to make new memories and like just experience that with you guys. They made it a really special evening.
Yeah, that was a whole crazy situation. And again, I think that'll probably be a episode that we'll do. We could probably loop that into a making magic and pivoting and pixie dust and things like that, because it was a really cool thing. Long story short, we had reservations at the Contemporary, and there was an incident where there was no water to any of the restaurants at the Contemporary. So our reservation was canceled, and we actually ended up having to pivot and pick a different restaurant to go to, and we ended up going to the Yachtsman Steakhouse at Yacht and Beach Club, and it was a fantastic experience. So and we'll go more into detail when we talk about it again. But yeah, I think honestly, just do I want to go to Disney as a out-of-state annual pass holder 7 times again? I don't know. I think it was a lot. I think it was a lot. It was a lot. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Honestly, I don't like. Some of the best memories have come from those 7 trips. But I don't think doing 7 out-of-state trips is in the cards again for
Why we
next
don't
year.
have TSA pre-check still is beyond me, because we say we need it every time and we keep not doing it. But
Claire didn't even do me any good last trip. I don't
Panic
even
buying.
talk about it. Like I feel like TSA and Clear, we've got some beef.
Yeah. Poor Shan panic buying Clear because she wasn't sure she was gonna get on her flight home. But
It didn't even do me good leaving Orlando. I had a longer line than regular TSA.
yeah. So what are your guys' hopes and expectations for the new year going forward? What are you looking to do in 2024 when it comes to Disney, the podcast, anything like that? I'm looking at you because
I mean, 2024 is definitely a year of more focus on my like physical and mental health for me, personally. And I know that will include Disney, but I also know that it's going to be we're not going that often this coming year.
Yeah.
Like Cass said, it was a lot. And it is not the priority, at least for me in 2024. I'm excited to get a more steady routine set up and like know what days, what's happening and just be really focused on figuring out who I am and what I want and what like my goals are. And the podcast is included in that and growing, like I said, growing this community and getting to know all of you guys and obviously making more memories with these girls and our friends and little adopted family down in Orlando when we get down there. I know we won't get to see them as frequently this year as we did this last one. But it feels like every trip that we go, we pick up a new stray. So if y'all are looking for a new family, hit us up.
Yeah, I'll be your older sister.
Yeah. And it's definitely gonna be a year of like focus for me. So
yeah, organization, just kind of like getting things hammered out. And really focusing. I know for me, a big thing for me is going to be like healing financially, without getting into some like great long big story. Definitely have had some financial troubles myself personally that I'm still kind of coming back from. And so that for me is a big one. Physically getting back to going to the gym, things like that. Also, I want to get back into sewing and creating stuff like that, just kind of touching back in on a little bit more into my cosplay roots, costuming and things like that, because I altered our dresses for our white Christmas outfits that we wore this last trip. And even under a crazy deadline and it being a little stressful to make sure that they turned out really good for everybody, I still really enjoy sewing, and I really enjoy creating things like that. So that's something for me that I would like to do, is maybe even pick a big project and finish that in the year. I am considering starting training for Run Disney for 2025, because one of my big goals is to do the Goofy weekend and basically do all of the races that first weekend. So the 2K or the 5K, the 10K, and then the marathon or the half marathon, whatever it is. But basically you run all of the races in one weekend. And so it's a matter of knuckling down and training for that. And hopefully maybe in 2025 in January, you guys will see me running the race and getting through that, because that's one of my big goals, and I've been something that I've been talking about for a couple of years now. And I think that 2024 is really going to be the year that I set that in motion. And then also getting into content creation, like really getting into learning where I stand in the content creation world, TikTok and Instagram and things like that. And then also some lightsaber stuff for me, like learning how to spin better. Those are kind of like my big things coming up for Disney and personal life. So
yeah. There's a lot coming up this year and a lot to be excited about, I think. Kind of like you guys said, like it's a big, like I'm definitely hyper focused this year on the goals, like those long-term goals. And I think I'm most excited. I don't think we talked about it yet, but like literally have a Florida job now. Like what the actual heck? Like so realistically, like starting to think about getting down to Florida and like working down there. Like first few months of this year, I'll probably be flying down for work more than like flying down for fun, which is gonna be interesting and a new dynamic. But like I can adjust and manage for now, and I think it'll be super beneficial when living down there, working down there, all of that. But I want to keep creating this year, just in all ways. Like I want to keep my creative spark alive, especially because that's something I don't get at work, really corporate girly. So I don't get to do much creative stuff, and just continuing to be authentic to myself. And, you know, not really worrying about what other people think or people pleasing, and doing what's best for me, and continuing to do that going forward, and hopefully inspiring some other people to live authentically to themselves as well, and continue building our community. You know, it's been super exciting to be able to make new friends and meet new people, and build this sense of community with everyone. So looking forward to continuing to getting to do that in the new year.
Yeah, I like that. I think I said it not too long ago, but I think my motto for 2024 is just more in 2024. More focus, more love, more energy, more power, more accountability, just more things that make you happy. And so more magic in 2024. Yeah. But yeah, I think with that we're gonna really wrap it up, and I think this is going to be a really cool year, and I'm really, really excited. I am so grateful to have had the experiences that I had in 2023, and I know that those have set the groundwork for what's going to happen in 2024, and I'm really, really excited for it. And let's fucking do the thing. Let's do it. I'm excited. Anything else? Any last requests? Any last messages? Any last words before we wrap it all up?
As always, we're just thankful for all of you for listening and bringing us into your everyday lives and sharing in a little bit of pixie dust and magic with us. And we couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, keep dreaming, keep believing, besties. And until next time, I'm Cass.
I'm Shanira.
I'm Megan.
And you are the magic. Happy New Year!
We love you.
Happy New Queer!
New Queer! Happy New Queer!
Everyone in the fucking stupid Disney groups on the Facebooks, but apostrophe Hana. No, it's apostrophe Ohana. Actually, like the apostrophe is in the Maori version. That is correct in Hawaiian, in Maori. Apostrophe Ohana. The root word is Oa, which is apostrophe OHA.
Oh.
So I say again, the apostrophe in Ohana before the O, not after it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
BRB Doing Disney is an original podcast produced by the hosts. Additional support provided by our friends and family who we love very much. We're so grateful for you guys. Original logo created by JG Designs. Intro and outro song called Winner by Max KO Music was remixed by myself for the purpose of this podcast. BRB Doing Disney is not affiliated with Disney or its IPs, and the opinions expressed herein do not reflect that of the company or its employees.